So, May 5th, 2025. It's a date that, well, maybe quietly marks the end of an era.
Yeah, the day Skype finally shuts down. It's kind of wild to think about.
It really is. I mean, think back. That little blue icon, it was the way to connect for so many people, right? Family overseas, work calls.
Absolutely. It practically defined video calling for a whole generation.
And today, we're not just talking about an app vanishing. We want to dig into why. How did this, like, revolutionary thing falter, especially under Microsoft?
Exactly. It's a fascinating story. We've looked at a lot of the background, the tech, the people, the competition, the money, all of it.
Our mission here really is to understand that journey. Why did Skype, go from being synonymous with video calls to, well, digital dust?
And hopefully pull out some insights about tech strategy, innovation, how fast things change.
Definitely. So let's go back to the beginning. Skype wasn't just some random app.
Oh, not at all. Early 2000s, it was a game changer.
You had the founders, Nicholas Sennstrom and Janice Fries. They'd already made waves with Kazaa. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. And they had this vision for free global calls. Pretty radical at the time.
It started in Estonia, which is amazing, with developers like Ati Heinla, Prikit Kasasalu, Jan Talon.
Real pioneers. Their goal was huge, democratize communication. And they did it fast.
So fast that by 2005, people were saying, I'll Skype you. It was a verb.
And eBay bought them. That alone tells you the impact it had already made. Connecting soldiers, families, startups.
It really changed things for long-distance everything.
And the tech behind it, that was pretty unique too, initially.
Right, the peer-to-peer thing, PDP.
Exactly. Think of it like a digital bucket brigade. Your call didn't necessarily go through a central server.
It used other users' connections.
Sort of, yeah. It cleverly routed calls through the network of users. In the dial-up days, that was brilliant. Kept costs super low.
Made it scalable very quickly. A real edge back then.
Huge edge. That P2P architecture was key to its early explosive growth.
That became a problem later, didn't it?
Uh-huh. As Skype got bigger and people wanted more group calls, better video quality, that P2P systems started to, well, struggle.
Because it relied on everyone else's potentially flaky connections and bandwidth.
Pretty much. It wasn't as reliable or efficient for those more complex uses, and meanwhile, competitors were emerging.
Built on cloud infrastructure from the start.
Right, like Zoom, Google Meet. They had powerful central servers doing the heavy lifting. Skype was kind of stuck with this legacy architecture.
Which brings us to Microsoft, 2011. They made a lot of money.
$8.5 billion. Steve Ballmer was CEO then, and he clearly saw Skype as, central to Microsoft's future in communication. Dominate the space.
A bold vision.
Yeah.
But getting Skype off that PDP system and onto the cloud, that sounds messy.
Oh, it was incredibly complex. Some described it like herding cats during a thunderstorm, or maybe swapping a car's engine while driving down the highway.
Okay, I get the picture. Not easy.
Not easy at all. And those early cloud versions, they were notoriously buggy.
Yeah, I remember that. Dropped calls.
Frozen video, notifications that arrived hours late.
Stuff that really annoys users quickly.
Absolutely. It eroded trust. And that massive $8.5 billion price tag started looking questionable.
And it wasn't just the tech transition, right? They also seemed to lose sight of what made Skype great initially.
Simplicity. That was a big part of it.
Yeah, the interface got cluttered. Bloated.
Yeah. They kept adding features, trying to integrate it everywhere, maybe losing focus on the core experience, which was just making a call.
While someone like Zoom came along and just nailed that one thing. Easy, reliable video meetings.
Exactly. That laser focus was Eric Ewan's, Zoom's founder's, real strength. He capitalized directly on Skype's growing pains.
So let's talk about those key players. Sennstrom and Fries, the originators.
Visionaries. Then Ballmer at Microsoft. Huge enthusiasm, maybe flawed execution on the integration.
Seems fair. He wanted Skype everywhere, but maybe he didn't nail the how.
And then Satya Nadella takes over Microsoft in 2014.
And his focus shifted, didn't it? More towards cloud, enterprise.
Definitely. And towards Microsoft Teams, Nadella's approach seemed more like, okay, let's cut our losses with Skype and focus on Teams for the future of work.
So Teams becomes the priority, and Skype starts to fade within Microsoft itself.
Pretty much. It was a strategic pivot. And Yuan, with Zoom, was just relentlessly focused on making video calls work perfectly. Simple, reliable.
That reliability factor was huge, especially as more people started relying on video calls for work.
No question. So the competition wasn't just Zoom.
Right. Who else was chipping away?
Well, WhatsApp. Massive user base, mobile first, baked into the messaging app everyone was already using, especially huge outside North America.
Okay, so the mobile giant.
Then, as we said, Microsoft Teams. The in-house saboteur, as you put it earlier, it had the advantage of deep Office 365 integration, perfect for businesses already in the Microsoft ecosystem.
A natural fit for enterprise, which Skype, even Skype for Business, never quite became seamlessly.
Right. And don't forget FaceTime and Google Meet.
The ecosystem players, baked right into iPhones and Android, default choices for millions.
Exactly. So Skype was fighting on all these fronts: cloud-native players, mobile messaging apps, its own sibling product, and the platform giants.
Wow. Yeah, when you lay it out like that, it was a tough battle. The landscape shifted so fast.
Incredibly fast. Mobile, cloud. Skype just couldn't adapt quickly or effectively enough under Microsoft, it seems.
But let's not forget the impact it did have. Culturally, it was massive for a time.
Oh, absolutely. Think about long-distance relationships back then.
Totally reliant on Skype.
Mm-hmm.
Or immigrant families connecting across continents.
Small businesses doing international deals for the first time without expensive travel. It genuinely changed how people connected.
It even had a little comeback moment during the pandemic in 2020, didn't it?
It did see a bump, yeah. Everyone suddenly needed video calls. But honestly, by then, Zoom and Teams were already way ahead in terms of adoption and, frankly, reliability for most people.
So it was more like a brief nostalgic moment than a real resurgence.
I think so. But its legacy is undeniable. It paved the way for the video call culture we have now. It normalized seeing people on screen.
True, it laid the groundwork. But financially, that $8.5 billion hangs heavy.
It really does. It stands out as a gamble that, well, didn't pan out as hoped, especially compared to other Microsoft acquisitions.
Like LinkedIn or GitHub.
Exactly. Those have been seen as much more successful integrations and investments. Skype's freemium model was also always a bit tricky.
Hard to make consistent money when the basic service is free and competitors are offering similar free tiers.
Right. Plus the ongoing costs of trying to maintain and modernize that complex transitioning platform, it all added up.
So looking at the timeline post-acquisition, it feels like a slow decline.
Yeah, the analysis sort of traces it year by year. 2012, integration into Windows 8, Xbox.
Okay,
Yeah.
2013 replacing Windows Live Messenger. That was a big consolidation.
Then 2014, the start of that really messy cloud transition we talked about.
2015, Skype for Business launches, maybe confusing things further.
Potentially. Then 2016, Microsoft announces Teams. That felt like a turning point.
The writing on the wall.
Perhaps. 2017 onwards, Zoom's growth just explodes. Skype keeps fading as Teams gets more focus internally at Microsoft.
Pandemic bump in 2020, but quickly overshadowed.
And then the last few years, 2021 to 2024, just continued decline, more focus on Teams, leading to the shutdown announcement for May 2025.
It's a gradual fade out, which makes you wonder, what if?
The alternate universe question.
Yeah, what if Microsoft had managed to streamline it? Mobile first, cloud native, kept it simple but powerful.
It's interesting to think about if they'd maybe spun it off or given it a dedicated team laser-focused on competing directly with Zoom and WhatsApp, perhaps?
Could it have been the dominant platform today? Leveraging Microsoft's resources, but with more agility?
It's possible. A truly seamless Skype across all devices, maybe integrating messaging better. The landscape could look different. That $8.5 billion might have seemed like a bargain.
But alas, that's not how it played out. And the story, I think, holds lessons beyond just Skype.
Definitely. About tech acquisitions in general.
Like the risk of overpaying, obviously.
Sure. But also about strategic misalignment. Integrating different cultures and tech stacks is hard.
And underestimating just how fast the market can change. You need humility, focus, adaptability.
Absolutely. You can't rest on your laurels. Even giants can stumble if they don't stay nimble and really listen to users. Skype's story is a pretty stark reminder of that.
So as the plug gets pulled, we remember Skype not just as an app, but as a true pioneer. It genuinely changed the world for a while.
It did. It made video calling mainstream. That initial impact was huge.
But the combination of that difficult tech transition, the internal competition from teams, the rise of nimble competitors, it all led to this moment.
A confluence of factors under Microsoft's ownership sealed its fate, really. But its initial legacy, shrinking the world, connecting people, that stands.
It really does. A fascinating, maybe cautionary tale from the tech world.
Indeed. It offered so much promise, but ultimately couldn't keep pace.
So the final thought for you listening. As technology races forward, what platforms or tools that seem essential today might be the Skypes of tomorrow? And what does Skype's journey teach us about building communication tools that not only connect us now, but can actually last?
Something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.